Hi everyone, I'm lead forecaster Chris Phillips here in the Weather Pulse Tracking Center. Quick weather update here, and we do still have some showers around the region. Some heavy at times from Lawrenceburg to Dillsboro to Rising Sun into the East Enterprise area, portions of Ohio County and Dearborn County, picking up on some of that moderate activity. More activity back off towards the Walton, Verona, and Crittenden areas into Grant County, southern Boone, and Kenton County. Then some light to moderate rain around the Cincinnati area along the I-275 loop. 7175 is a nightmare right now getting into downtown due to high water, and it's down to 2 lanes. So if you're in that area, or heading towards that area, you probably want to choose a different route. Moderate to heavy rain out towards portions of Adam and Claremont County, towards Georgetown, Hillsboro, the Peebles area. That's pushing off towards the east as well. And then some scattered activity towards DuPont, Canaan, then up towards North Vernon, just to the east of North Vernon. Then more activity towards Greensburg, St. Paul, Shelbyville, Franklin, and then into the Indianapolis area, seeing some of that heavier activity. All of this pushing off towards the east, some of it moving off towards the northeast. So scattered activity through the day. Let's zoom out on a regional view here. I'm going to talk about the severe weather threat. You see the cloud cover underneath of this image here. And let's see if I can really quickly here, bear with me as I try to, I'm going to put a view on here that we can try to get let's see. Let me try to get the cloud. There we go. Okay, so here's where you can kind of see where we're starting to get breaks in clouds. You see some breaks near St. Louis right now into portions of Illinois. And then you got the breaks in the clouds in portions of Tennessee and then down into eastern Kentucky. Well, what we need to watch is this particular area right here. In portions of Illinois. This is where we could see the potential for the storms to develop this afternoon. So the severe weather threat is still a possibility, but this area right in here where we're getting that cloud cover to break, that is where I'm concerned about here this afternoon. It didn't look like we would see any breaks in the clouds, but we're starting to see it here in the last little bit. So that's something to watch. Now, let me take the cloud or the radar off of here real quick, and we'll put future radar into perspective here for you for this afternoon. So here's a look at what we call our high resolution rapid refresh model. This is going to go through here for the next. This is the latest run on it, and this will go through for the next 7 hours. So this is the now time frame, seeing those scattered showers. Then, in about 5 hours, so we're at around 11 now. So before 5 o'clock, notice how it's just now started to fire up some stronger thunderstorms from, let's say, the Shelbyville area, Columbus, Indiana, down through Jasper. Well, watch this line carefully. This would develop around 4 or 5 o'clock, and then it would eventually start to race off towards the south and east. So this is something to note. This was not on the last scan of the high-resolution computer model. Let me take off this here, and we'll notice how it's now pushing into portions of the Richmond, Indiana area, the far western suburbs of Cincinnati, Madison, Louisville getting into the activity. Then you notice at 7 o'clock it pushes off towards the east of Cincinnati, east of Dayton, and then more towards the Lexington area. So this is our high-resolution rapid refresh model showing that activity. Now, I'm going to switch over here to our high-resolution NAM model. Shows the activity this morning, or it shows the same kind of deal for this morning, and then notice the scattering of thunderstorms through the afternoon hours. It's not as impressive on the storms. Here's a different view of the model. Let me switch. All right, there we go. So here's this morning's storms pushing off towards the east. And then notice how it also has started to blow up thunderstorms later this afternoon and it's actually being a little more, I would say, I want to say more impressive with these thunderstorms over the last few frames as well. So this is something to note. This is as we go on towards the 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock time frame. So I'll put that on here is about 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock. Now let's put on the, real quick here, we'll put on the CAPE, which is basically the instability that we have to work with. This particular model has through the roof instability this afternoon. That's if clouds start to go away. This is this morning. You see there's hardly any at all. Then those green or those oranges and the pink colors will be higher instability. Let's verify that with our high resolution rapid refresh model. Normally it does a very good job on predicting severe weather for the day. You see that we start to increase the instability somewhat. We get about 2,000 units of CAPE, and that would be enough to support some severe weather. And the winds aloft still looking pretty strong as well. Let's see if that'll load up there, and let's see. Okay, there we go. So as we go into the afternoon here, winds about a mile up your head, above your head could be at about 50, potentially 60 knots. So the threat still does exist for severe weather here this afternoon. I really, from what I've seen, it looks like to me, let me take off this. Let me show you the Storm Prediction Center's slight risk area, and here it is. It's a slight risk anywhere in the yellow. And for me, if I was to draw the slight risk of severe storms today, I personally think anywhere in, let me see if I can erase. I want to use anywhere that is in this red box or this red circle. I think this is the area where higher risk of severe storms would be. That is something to watch. Now, I'm going to put on here real quick a few other products from the Storm Prediction Center so we can kind of grasp what they're talking about in the way of severe weather today. And look at that. They are now starting to agree with exactly what I'm saying. That darker, I'd say yellow, gold color, that is where they're anticipating the higher risk of severe weather today. So right where I just drew, that's probably going to be the best bet for severe weather. East of Louisville, just south of Cincinnati, Lexington's probably going to be the hit location, maybe even Bowling Green, London, Kentucky, Hazard, Kentucky. Those areas would probably be where you would see them more in the way of strong to severe thunderstorms. So that's the way it's shaping here this morning. One more loop of the radar. Let me take off the Storm Prediction Center view here, and we'll put on radar and satellite if we can, and put it into motion here for you. Those higher top clouds above, and then you're starting to watch that break in activity in portions of Missouri and Illinois. We'll watch that carefully, and notice how much this has really dissipated the rain over portions of Illinois as it moved into southern Indiana and western Kentucky. Really faded out. So we'll continue to be here all afternoon to keep an eye out on it. Here's one more live view at the local Storm Vision or HD radar, and you can see more heavy rain moving into Rising Sun, Lawrenceburg, and Burlington here over the next few minutes. From the Weather Pulse Tracking Center, I'm lead forecaster Chris Phillips.